up all the time. It's like your lanes have to go well. You want to be able to have a lot of team fight potential, and how are you going to be able to hit high ground? 1, 2, 3.
So they take SB, which I think is good against Lich anyways, because you can gap close on this hero really quickly and just be annoying.
5 seconds remaining.
Isn't at the same time the ice armor really hard for Spirit Breaker, slowing down his attack speed, not really getting any damage in there?
I don't think it matters. Charge in, you hit, you ulti, it's all the same. But it's like the speed of game. I still think VG should take it because I think ice armor is amazing and it does show up your laning problems. Like we saw Mineski use it to really, really good effectiveness.
Are you down for like
I'd be down for like
Lich Doom opening or something like that?
No, I'd be
no, we don't
like
Doom.
Lich Earth or Lich Nyx. Or Night Stalker, sorry.
Which of the 4 positions the best versus?
I think the ones that have the instant.
I was thinking Earth Spirit and Earthshake.
Yeah. You might just get run over though if you take Shaker again. VG's taking a really long time to think about this.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Night
So
Stalker.
it's NS. Take then like NS Pugna and Night Stalker Bat was like a really favorite combo for a really long time, but it's kind of fallen off.
10
You
seconds.
don't get it now though. It seems.
Dire's turn to pick. Pugna.
So it is Pugna. So like those are the only 3 options that you can take anymore. You either take NS Pugna, NS Lich, or NS Bat.
Because those are the cores that are in some ways infallible.
Yeah, and
Right.
for the most part, because Nyx is banned, like you're pretty comfortable opening with it. I thought it would have been Earth Spirit Pugna or
10
Earth Spirit Lich,
seconds.
but NS is okay too.
5 seconds remaining.
EG didn't seem that worried about the Pugna in the last. They left it in.
Yeah, it's because the Nyx though. They knew that it was going to be touched
Here's
overall.
the Radiant
So what are
ban.
the Pugna? Because we've seen a little bit of experimentation against Pugna. I saw somebody drafted Omni Knight.
Yeah.
Is that complexity?
Omni was like 2 games.
And then there was 2 games of Oracle.
10
Wow.
seconds.
I think Oracle's a soft option though. I'm not sure.
I think Oracle's not. I think Omni
5
could be
seconds
it,
remaining.
but especially in this game with
Increasingly, like Dota's, I don't know. There's so much complexity to drafting. Like you need to fill in a lot of different areas.
Dire's
Like you need to be able to go high
banned
ground.
now.
You need some amount of team fight. You need like some. You need at least like minimum 1 stun. You need really good laning phase.
I've heard you say this a lot, right? That over the last like year and a half or so, you said versatility is really important. You need to have a well-rounded lineup as well.
10
What is it about
seconds.
the game right now that is forcing us to be well-rounded? Why can't we just
5
go in for
seconds
all-in
remaining.
Drotadrats and stuff like that? Like, why can't we do that anymore?
It's like Dota's become so complex. Like we saw in the TI6 era where
Mhm.
Misery started doing this thing where he would pick Kunkka or Slardar, and you didn't know where those heroes were going necessarily. It was this concept of being open, quote unquote. So you
Radiant's
take
turn to
Naga,
bat.
move it to 4 if you felt like that was necessary, and then sometimes it's Rezo's hero, and all of a sudden you think you're drafting against a 4 Naga, and it changes. Dota's become more and more increasingly about hiding your picks more than anything, unless they're these heroes that are like that you deem to just be straight up OP. Like the Spirit Breaker, you don't really care that you're showing them as a 4 or 5. Right?
10
But
seconds.
the fact that you can pick a Jakiro like this, and you have no idea where this guy's going, like he can go
5
off lane,
seconds
mid,
remaining.
Don't say
support.
mid. Don't say mid.
Yeah, he can go mid, dude.
So you're saying that openness in the draft allows you to be able to, if a lineup is very focused in one area, that you can kind of pivot.
Yeah, because in the past it was like you pick these heroes that were very limited in roles because they were good, and that's it. But then you kind of show the progression of your draft. You'd be able to say with confidence like,
The
oh,
Dire get
that's
a
definitely like a
ban.
2 position.
Which then leads you to getting out drafted in
Yeah.
games rather than losing on merit, right?
So after T6 we had this meta. It was like we will hide our picks, and so you think that you're going to see one look and you're drafting against that because a lot of picking is just counter picking, right? Like you pick one hero, I pick another hero that's better against it. But when you don't know what you're better against, like are you countering a 3
5
position hero
seconds
or are you
remaining.
countering a
Radiant's turn to
Because if you're
pick.
countering a 4-position Jakiro, now it's become a little bit more relevant. Like, who cares if you really counter 4 or 5-position Jakiro? But it matters if in the laning phase this is a 3-position Jakiro that just messes with you.
Right.
Same with Pugna. Like Pugna, everyone is starting to see is like such an open hero because he's not just a mid hero anymore. Liquid ran him as a 5-position, Kuro played it. We see
Offlane Pugna.
Yeah, we see offlane Pugna, Immortals,
5 seconds
and
remaining.
Navi really like offlane Pugna.
It's insane.
Yeah, and you can do safe lane Pugna as well. Like this hero goes anywhere, and this kind of openness has dictated so much of the meta in drafting, which is why teams like Mineski were so successful at the last event because they would pick NS, offlane Night Stalker, and then they would pick a better 4 for the game. They'd pick like Clockwork, and so it messes with your head as a drafter that you no longer have these things in concrete. Before in the past it was so concrete. It was like, oh, they pick Slardar. That's an offlane Slardar. What are we gonna do to counter offlane Slardar? Now it's like, that is a 4 or 5 position Slardar. Like, who the hell knows what's going on?
I feel like if we had the bats, and they might be out there, I don't know. If we went back 2 years, compared the amount of time spent in the draft, it would be much longer now.
But there are some things that are consistent. Like Witch Doctor, please, just be a 5.
Let's
Carry
go,
Witch
Aghanim's Witch Doctor, baby.
Carry Witch Doctor.
I'm not ready to see like a mid Witch Doctor.
Get me a support boy to set up this carry Witch Doctor, and I will be impressed and back your corner all the way, VG.J.
There's just like some stuff that in Dota, like, I hope never changes. I don't want to see like, I've seen too many of my favorite heroes just like be turned into like pseudo 4s and stuff like that. I'm sad.
Like what?
Storm.
Like Night Stalker.
Night Stalker,
and
you
it's
preferred
Position
him
5
offlane?
Storm Spirit.
If I saw position 5 Storm, like I'm shooting myself. I can't handle it.
It obviously would not be 5 position. That is unreasonable, Paul. It would be a 4-position jungler.
Of course it would.
Yes.
Sorry, Austin, you're right.
It's like all these heroes that like used to be something, and now they're just like moved down the
They're
ladder.
just relegated to another 4
Hey,
position.
dude, I'm just happy to see Jakiro in a few more games.
That's true.
I don't really care
Yeah.
where he goes as long as he's not mid.
Every time like they make this patch and they introduce like some new heroes, and I know what their intent is. When you saw Monkey King first, on paper, it's like,
carry.
of course he's gonna be a carry, and then everyone just like screws
This
out.
tree
Like,
hopping thing
roaming
is great.
support.
yeah, he's like roaming support. I was like, all right.
Jingu allows me to fight anybody in the Dota game. No one can turn on me. Oh, that sounds like a great support idea.
But that's like the beauty of it is that you
No,
can
it's
just turn these heroes
Yeah.
into anything you
Yeah.
want.
And that's what's put more value on these early picks.
Radiant's turn to
Yeah,
pick.
That's why those heroes get as often as they do. We're going to get a
So
wide.
there's another hero. It's like you don't
What do you
know.
know?
That is 100% supposed to be a support hero.
But
There's
can
no
be
way-
played in the offlane.
Yeah, and that's the absurd thing nowadays, and that's what keeps Dota drafting probably the most interesting part of competitive
10
Dota for me, is that these
seconds.
trends that you start to realize and like why they matter so much, and the
5
ability to like
seconds
if you're one of the
remaining.
first teams that can do that, and that's such an advantage, right? Because you're not trying to just do what everyone else is doing. You're trying to always innovate in Dota. Otherwise, you're a
Dyer's
step
turn
behind.
to pick.
You're not just trying to catch up, and that's why teams like Mineski were so successful because they were able to swap this Night Stalker into the offlane. They were Ice discovered this Wyvern could go offlane, and most recently at the Star Ladder, Liquid just like when you're ahead of the meta like that,
10
then it makes drafting really
seconds.
easy.
I mean, for me, drafting feels like it used to be rock, paper, scissors.
5
As in,
seconds
like,
remaining.
you pick that, so we need to pick this, and then we pick that, and then you pick that, so we pick
Yeah.
that. Now it feels like 3D Star Trek chess.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
because
multiple levels of, whoa, hold on a minute.
yeah, it's because Ice Frog has opened the game up significantly. He's given you tools to be able to innovate your favorite heroes. Being able to introduce these ag
Here's the
receptors on
Radiant badge.
heroes that changes them fundamentally, or being able to give you talents, which really opens up your opportunities to turn a support magic damage dealer right-clicking carry or something like that, or vice versa. Ember Spirit turns into a magic damage core because his talents are really when it comes to magic
10
damage.
seconds.
So like right now, if you look at this lineup from EG, they have like
5
essentially, like,
seconds
4 heroes that
remaining.
can go anywhere, and that's that's
Four
disturbing.
sports right now.
Like what? One of those
The
heroes is
Dire
either
get a ban.
Arteezy's or males. But you're not like I'm like, what's going on here? Like,
Okay, so in order to identify this,
sure,
step by step, it would be
Spirit
like
Breaker.
what,
for
10
what cores would be
seconds.
best against, say, Bloodseeker and Pugna, since we know
Clock.
those are
5
cores. on
seconds
PGL.
remaining.
You want a core Clockwork
I want a core Clockwork,
against the Pugna, right?
and I want a that is a support Spirit Breaker, and I think Wyvern as a core is pretty nice here.
Okay, why do you like that
Turn
as
to
opposed
pick.
to?
I'm not sure. I think that Wyvern can pretty good against this one.
I kind of in my concept, I'm thinking about it like this hero just kind of like is able to stand still in back lines, deal lots of damage. Bloodseeker and Pugna,
10
they're both not going to be able to
seconds.
really close that distance so much. I feel like laning phase wise,
5 seconds
you're going to
remaining.
be okay. I'm not going to say great, but okay.
So just in terms of
Radiant's turn to pick.
Close.
played Winter of Iron, which
Okay,
would mean
so
that it,
then I think it's a then it's like a mid Jakiro, or
Offlane
if they're
clock.
really crazy, it's a mid clock. And so I think it's probably a mid
10
Jakiro, an
seconds.
offlane clock, Wyvern SB supports, Clinks.
5 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
It has
Jakiro
to
would
go
probably
there,
beat
yeah.
Bloodseeker.
I'm sure it doesn't lose. It's game really.
Anti-mage.
And
Choose
so-
your hero.
They pick and this is a pretty
all right, let's find out.
decent
So
aim.
Samaya was going to go Jakiro, so you're right. Yep.
Yeah. But that's like it's so hard to call until that last hero comes
No,
out.
absolutely.
Yeah. You're
So it
absolutely
is-
right about the offline clock, though. I like that choice. We talked about it at Star Ladder how important it was to make this clockwork a core against the Pugna.
I thought there was like a brief moment where if they take a different hero last, then it could be a mid clock. I knew that clock has to be a core though. Like
Yes.
the clockwork has to be a core in
Yeah.
this game.
Okay.
It was just the other interaction that I wasn't certain.
Very quickly, gents. Predictions after that. I mean, it's hard enough getting through the draft.
Honestly, I don't know who won the draft. I'm not even going to try and make
10
myself.
Okay,
seconds.
I haven't got a coin.
Yeah,
Otherwise
so
I'd
no,
have you out
no.
here.
I don't need a coin. I'm
Okay.
just going to go with
5
Geniuses
seconds
because I think
remaining.
they're the better team.
All right, easily done. Will.
EG.
All right, 2 for 2. EG get the vote here on the pants, see whether they can wrap things up and make it 2-0 and head to the upper bracket final in Group B. As we head back to your commentary team.
Well, EG certainly showed their stuff in game number 1. I don't know what the hell they're showing here. This is insanity in the drafting stage, but I'm really excited for it. Fogged.
Dude, it's ambiguity at its finest. It's literally, you have no idea where these heroes are going until last pick, and then you're like, it makes sense now.
I mean, does it? Does it really?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Clockwork is incredibly good versus Pugna, versus Witch Doctor, versus Bloodseeker. These three get extremely punished during it. We saw it happening yesterday when Immortals picked the Pugna, and that the Clockwork just went absolutely berserk. He killed the
Right.
Pugna like 3 or 4 times. EG's got it again, and that's what you want to have with the Spirit Breaker. You can punish lanes really heavily with that.
No.
But Sumail playing Jakiro, this is a change up for sure.
A little bit of a different one. And the other thing that we're going to end up seeing here is the Sylar Anti-Mage. So going a little bit more of the old school. This is a hero that's come around every now and then. Minescu is playing it a decent amount. Do you like to pick this game?
It's a good AM game if he can get the time and his team can buy the time for him to get farmed. However, just because there's a lack of disables. However, I think he's going to struggle because Clinks is one of those heroes. We've seen people doing... I've been seeing a lot of like the Medallion into either Solar Crest or just Medallion into Desolator, and then you get like a Hex right afterwards. So you are that pick-off hero for Clinks, and that will make up for the lack of disable if they get to that point, of course.
Right.
And I think this is also, they see the Bloodseeker, and then they decided, okay, we're going to put Jakiro mid, because Bloodseeker versus Jakiro, you suffer because of that attack speed negation. Dual Breath
30
plus
seconds
Liquid
to
Fire,
battle.
it really starts adding up. You struggle to get those last hits, and the way that Bloodseeker wins his lanes is because he outlasts them because of the regen. So it should be a little bit more difficult, and looks like Thunder actually going aggro. This Pugna Night Stalker.
Yeah, it looks like it. And that's going to be a 1-1-1 versus the Anti-Mage with the Clockwork.
They're trying to do the same thing that we talked about with Bloodseeker. Get him those thirst stacks going, and okay, looks like they're going to back out of that lane. I think it's really tough. I think Night Stalker has to stay top, and Witch Doctor probably has to play between bottom and mid.
Yeah, we'll see if they head there after they help out with the blocking in the mid lane. Obviously, want to make sure that Freeze is able to get off to a decent start against Sumail, but already Wyvern moving in. Fear's playing it this time around with Crit being on the Spirit Breaker, and we'll have to see if they can make some trouble happen mid lane.
See how much this Pugna can get. We talked about it with Winter a lot yesterday. This Pugna is a very strong hero right now if you can get an advantage. But if you're at a deficit, you just get absolutely punished super hard. You can just chain die over and over again. And it's a one armor hero versus a Clinks, who does one of the most physical damage in the game early on.
And there's even a charge coming through as well. That probably is going to be canceled. A little bit of action coming in as the Wyvern dealt some damage there. And we already see Bloodseeker just taking a lot of damage there in the mid lane. And looks like he's still able to get some CS to regen up.
You definitely suffer though. Once level 3 comes out mostly for the Jakiro. Once you get that 2 points from Dual Breath, it's really tough for you to get CS.
Oh, got a cancel of the charge as well over there by the Witch Doctor?
Yeah, you got the cast on crit.
Nice.
Having that high ground vision. They kind of lacked those river wards the last game. I saw them have one, but the Spirit Breaker had free roam kind of charging around in that early game. This time they're emphasizing more on that. At least Anti-Mage is going to have a pretty good time bottom lane and be able to farm quite well versus Clockwork.
Yeah, 5-2 so far, and Clockwork 1-4. I think a couple of those were cogs as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Sumail's not doing so good versus the Bloodseeker at the moment, though. 9-6 on Bloodseeker already, and 6-0 on Sumail. It's not looking to work so far as this neutral mid lane. And Sumail in a lot of trouble here.
Definitely going to end up going down. First blood, I believe, unless they're able to slow him enough. No, Ayo finds that kill.
Uh-oh. That's not what they wanted. They wanted this matchup to be the exact opposite with that Jakiro in the mid lane versus Bloodseeker, but Bloodseeker proven to be that extremely strong hero as we've been seeing so much lately.
Oh, Fade, meanwhile, over there gets the rune denied by Fear, and then Fear gives him a little bit of the taunting as well, just to show his your top. A little bit of a battle going, but yeah, the Bloodseeker apparently quite a good hero in the mid lane, and I guess it's just the damage advantage that you get.
Yeah, I mean, Thirst starts adding up if you harass the other lanes at all, and he just has such high damage, base damage now on top of that Blood Rage. They're putting a lot of, they're just throwing spells onto Arteezy to make sure that he's low health so that Bloodseeker gets out of control. But now, Sumail is level 3, that's where the Dual Breath starts kicking in a bit more. But Bloodseeker has a lot of movement speed and a lot of damage right now. And Sumail's taking a lot of tower hits. And
Needs to be real careful.
More attacks, or more damage.
Top lane, decrypt onto the Spirit Breaker to make sure that Yang can get away. And that little Pugna man, he runs away rather rapidly. His Fade is also going to try and get away from Fear and Crit. Looks like this top lane going pretty well for them as well.
Yeah, the mid matchup is the big deficit. Sumail at the heavy disadvantage at the moment.
Well, that's the thing, is sometimes you're going to accept that, but it's usually coming because there's, good stuff going on in the other lanes. And every other lane's kind of working out fairly even. How concerned are you for EG, considering that, the Anti-Mage is getting farmed in the mid lane, the Jakiro's hurting?
Definitely a bit concerned, because they're not punishing the Pugna either, and it's going to be turning into nighttime soon, and that's where Fade can run around and try to punish the Jakiro a bit more. But this Bloodseeker is just absolutely having a blast in the mid lane. Just getting a majority of the denies. Even though Sumail has high base damage on Jakiro spells as well to push out the lane, it's not enough to deal with Bloodseeker when he gets this such a good start.
28 and 11 already, and able to push Sturess back for a little Sumail. Still getting the denies there, and all the regen in the world. How do you transition this into a better start for them? Is it just like find kills now with Night Stalker?
Sumail's getting heavily harassed. Night Stalker, yeah, they can just run around between like any of the lanes. I think pressuring the flanks is decent, but you have to watch the positioning.
He's taking a little bit of damage there on the Fear. They bring in Yang as well, and Ayo trying to get away from them all as well. Can he actually make his escape? Because it looks like he's going to have to use well, he jukes him out. He went the wrong way, and Ayo feeling pretty lucky to be alive.
But look at Bloodseeker's movement speed. 500 movement speed right now, 150 damage. Sumail's going to get gone on here, even though he has GD. Charge is coming out though from the base. Sumail might actually just die here.
Oh, the slow movement speed and attack speed though. Can he actually find this kill? It looks like he will be able to and get out. So
now I'm very concerned.
You're real concerned. Okay.
They wanted the exact opposite to happen out of this lane matchup. They wanted this Spirit Breaker charge to come in with the Dual Breath, Liquid Fire, and the Bloodseeker to be low HP, and they try to get the kill when he's trying to get the last hits, but it's not happening at all. And now the laning phase is completely screwed now for the Jakiro. It's level 6 already on Bloodseeker. And they're going to be setting up to go for some plays here. Crit tries to charge in, but there is a Rupture available.
Oh, Crit now trying to TP out. They'd already used the Void though, so no way to break that one. He isn't able to escape, and that means no Rupture for a little while.
Beautifully done. And now Jakiro kind of can't do much at all versus this Bloodseeker. They're going to have to commit heavy rotations to try to punish him, but almost level 7 to the almost level 5 Jakiro. And he's already got Belt, he's got Aquila, Boots. very farmed Bloodseeker and Anti-Mage, as we mentioned. He does perfectly fine. We haven't really looked at Slim much, but he does fine versus Clockwork. Clock also gets farmed, because once you get low mana, you just right-click the AM back.
Now also, they found themselves the blink. The stun is there. They got everything necessary to find that kill, and Ying is the one that picks it up. All things rolling good for VG.J in this game.
Yeah, all 3 lanes, for sure. Universe is the only one who's having a great time. Clinks is getting punished. The Pugna is free farming top pretty much. 27 CS. Mid lane, they try again, but this he's still very tanky.
He's got the summons out there already as well, and now the Rupture onto Crit. He doesn't have a TP this time. Yang is coming in as well. He actually turns on the Sumail and moving rather rapidly, able to dodge away from the dual breath as well. Mr. S, nowhere left to go. Can they find a kill double? Yang hits it, 2 for 1.
This is a devastating start for G. Pugna, we said that the way the Pugna suffers is if you kill him a couple of times early on, but now this Pugna has Arcanes, has Soul Ring finished up if he wants, whenever he wants to buy those Arcanes, that is. And he's very strong versus Clinks. They're just continuing. With just 2 supports, they're going for Arteezy here.
Oh my god, the damage is there. They got everything that they need, and they find another kill. I'm retreating.
Oh, they're confident now. First, the safe lane carry with 2 supports. EG is in a very devastating position. They have to start using Universe to catch them back up in this game. It's really all up to him to get these pickoffs and make sure that Sumail and Arteezy can farm back in this. They're playing it with, like, they wanted to have lane dominance with their Spirit Breaker Jakiro Clinks, because their mid game, or the later stages of the game, goes completely in favor of Thunder. They have a Bloodseeker and an Anti-Mage. If the game goes well for them, there's no way that EG can do anything in the late game. They have to be making these moves now and trying to get back into the game. 6-0 advantage for Thunder.
They do catch sight right there of the Bloodseeker, and they don't know about the Pugna. Now they see the coming in. Yang is there as well. Are they actually going to be able to find this kill? No, they charge him. Actually gets pushed outside of the pond. Yang is going to live there, and Crit going to be brought down. They get the kill. Everything that could have gone wrong there went wrong for EG, and now Sumail again ready to get killed and going to be brought down.
It's a 0. And this is the beauty of having Night Stalker. The first nighttime ends now, and they've done a heavy amount of damage with him as well as with just the Bloodseeker in general in that mid lane. That's such an advantage. We talked about the Anti-Mage being a very hard hero to kill in this game, but it's looking like the Bloodseeker is going to be that as well.
I mean, this is the thing. Like last game, it felt like it was so bad for VG.J right out of the go. Is it a similar situation where they don't really have a ton of catch-up mechanisms for EG, or how do they deal with this going forward now?
They have to just, I mean, Universe has to set up. He has to just get kill after kill with the hookshot to make space for Clinks to get online, because Arteezy is getting massacred in top, bottom lane, or mid lane, Sumail getting massacred. It's pretty much their... They kind of lost all 3 lanes, to be honest. Yeah. Anti-Mage versus Clockwork is a bit of a trade, but I mean, AM is happy with when he's trading farm.
Dire's top tower is about to take the
They're coming down here to the bottom lane yet again. Seems unlikely that they're going to be able to find a kill on the AM, although battery assault there. He's able to blink away. Sylar still living. And in the meantime, top lane, they're just sort of punishing here. Actually, they do go back in now onto Sylar. The charge is coming through. Does he have himself another blink? Trying to get the kill. The back is there, but it's not enough. Top lane, they find it easy. That's going to be a kill onto him. 9-0. 4,000 is a net worth lead for VG.J.
Under attack.
Yeah, this is really bad. They just use their hook shot. They don't find the kill in the aim. It's a very unlikely kill that they can even go for.
Oh, charge! Is it gonna get him getting out?
Down split second.
Oh no!
Oh god, split second getaway. They need to get kills to come back in this game, and they're not getting any alleviation. They're gonna now start losing their tier 1s as well, because Pugna is a monster, and it looks like he's going to be going for the Aether Lens. No, actually, he's going to be going for the Force Step build first on the Pugna. So Universe has to be the saving grace for EG, and VG Thunder is already optimizing to counter the only way back for EG. It's really problematic.
Well, you know, you pick this Jakiro, you want to try and sure get the tower down in time, but it's just so difficult. And now a rupture onto Sumail. The charge is coming through. The silence is there. And now a follow-up one as well. Jakiro is going to die, and Crit maybe even going to end up being brought down as well, or they just call off the charge. They know that they don't need to push it too hard here. Sorry, in such a great position.
It's time to try to just set up ganks with Death Pact, with Universe, and that's the only way EG can come back. But it's looking really bad because Bloodseeker, Pugna, AM, top 3 the net worth, and they have the late game, and they have the tower pressuring heroes as a better advantage over EG. So yeah, so Arteezy's gonna have to play as the ganking Clinks now with Universe, which is not the way they want to play. It's just be completely. Their whole game plan has pretty much been screwed up.
Tower is about to flounder.
I mean, you
Hook
look
comes
up
in
here,
though. He
they're
does
all
fight
fighting.
gank.
Decent way to start this one out. Universe go with it. Can he kill off? And it's going to come through with crit in the area. They do manage to take him down. Now also Bait in trouble. So they lose some heroes there. And now also maybe going to end up losing a Bloodseeker. They found themselves another kill. EG striking back big in the mid lane, and they take down 4.
5-mana lane. Play away from the anti-mage is the hero that you can't really kill. Try to take advantage of the fact that he can't really get into the game. And perfect usage of that daytime. Everybody just collapsing. This is why we say Clockwork is so good versus the Pugna. If he's able to isolate him in the cogs, that's the way to kind of come back. And that's a huge swing.
I mean, it's not a bad thing when you get your first kill to take 3 others after the fact at the 11-minute mark, and yeah, just timing everything perfectly together there.
Yeah, everybody collapsing on top, and for the most part this game has been Thunder leading the charges and making all the aggressive moves. Now finally EG finds the opportunity, and they even claim a tier 1 afterwards because of that 4-kill advantage there.
The thing that we still need to talk about, might be a little bit worrying, is Siler's continuing to get free farmers. They is going to run into fear. They Malphus as well. A hell of a lot of damage, and that should be the death of him in the fountain. But imagine, oh, cold embrace, all right.
He's okay. Yeah, it's at least 2 levels in Mallet, not the 3rd point. Maybe the point might have been enough to take it out, but either way, it's not that bad. The freeze bottom and chop.
They can manage to get on the side, blink away, but fully they've got eyes on him. The Clockwork flare.
Universe is going to try. Siler though now in the trees. That's smart play by Siler, jumping right. Universe goes left. Crit was very close to having 6 or they have level 9. That's an easy kill from the anti-mage there.
Nothing comes for free. They force the AM out of lane, but they take the mid tower in return. Meanwhile, EG pushing bottom, and VG.J, they won't fight.
They've got no hook shot online. They have Winter's Curse, they have a BLD, but this is scary. It's nighttime.
Oh, they're going the long way around as well. They're actually going to break smokes now onto Yang, but will they be able to scout him out? They move in. Night Stalker giving the vision. They spot out Crit. They spot out Sumail as well. The silence is there on the Spearbreaker. They caught him for the moment, and now actually interrupting as well with the caskets bouncing back and forth. Crit is already dead. It looks like Sumail is also going to be ran down here if they get moving onto him and takes an act up higher. He knows what's going to happen. Bring on Yang now. He's got the ulti coming out there as well. Arteezy starting to do a little bit of damage. He wants to bring down one of these guys, but has he run to his death as well? Fear is here, and the need to teep out. Yang still trying to leave, but will be eventually killed.
Much needed pickoffs though. Like getting these kind of trades is fine at this point because of how far behind they are. Pugna is sitting at the top of the net worth as well. So Arteezy gets a nice bounty for that one. And he's starting to transition a little bit more. You know, he's got the medallion finished. He's going to have the solo crest soon, and that's where this hero gets really out of control. When you get your level 2 Death Pact and solo crest on top, you can actually kill heroes before they can even react most of the time. 1 disable plus the Clinks. Spearbreaker plus Clinks can pretty much kill any of the heroes on the side of Thunder. And some deep aggressive wards did get placed by EG during all this advantage that they kind of brought back in their favor. But still, of course, sitting at a deficit of 5,000 gold and 4,000 experience as well.
And, you know, you talk about this anti-mage and him getting into the Battle Fury pretty quickly. Mentioned it was a relatively free game with, like, the Spearbreaker and Clinks. Does that kind of have the capabilities of killing him off as, you know, Arteezy gets more farmed, or?
Yeah, definitely. So? And that's the thing, is like Spearbreaker has those 2 forms of lockdown and Clinks does an insane amount of physical damage, which anti-mage is susceptible towards. So they still can definitely find those pickoffs as long as they see him. So it's just really about the warding game for EG to get the sights of the anti-mage to set up. You see right away Crit drawing the line, predicting where Tyler's going to go to farm, and they might want to try to set up on him. But Tyler goes a different route. But they do have vision of him, so it's really important, the wards in this game for EG to kind of come back in the...
Right. Bottom lane though, Fade. He's found himself a Jakiro. Fear is off to the side as well. The Winter's Curse. Fade actually going to cancel his TP. And with Spearbreaker coming in, this might end up being a Night Stalker. The rest of his teammates want to stay there to help him out a little bit. Witch Doctor let's go down as well. On the crit, the Winter's Curse. Turning back around. He gets the hook shot in, gets the foot back on the tongue, and has caught himself Yang. But the force shot keeps him alive. That's going to be crit dead as well. Sylar decides to go for this fight. But already the Night Stalker dead, and Sylar going to need to blink away. Bloodseeker also running away. With a big bad man, and need to get the hell out of there.
Oh god, he blood raged. He blood raged Arteezy as he was hitting Yang. That got scary for a second. Yang taking some really solid hits. And all right, Arteezy's adjusting his build, so he's going for the Diffusal Blade this time versus the Decrepify, and the mana is pretty damn good versus Anti-Mage too, because of how fast Clinch does attack. They're slowly but surely finding some comeback kills, and they're the ones leading the pressure, which is really important. That was entirely the nighttime of Thunder, and it was pretty much EG having the aggressive movements.
Oh, look at this. Oh, Clinks is sitting up right now into Sylar, but they hit the blink away right before Crit gets there.
I think that one's a hard kill. They don't have the Pact online. They do not have the Nether Strike. That would have been a pretty hard one for them to kill. Clean up.
Backing out now. Clink's just going to go back to farming. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Wyvern can push out these lanes pretty consistently with the points in Splinter Blast. Next couple of minutes, how do you see this out for each team?
Well, it is daytime, so EG is playing really well around their vision, so we'll probably see them continue to do that. Sylar has to be pretty careful here, but he's actually okay. Nice TP coming out. As for that, I think EG should be just fine being able to defend just because of that Splinter Blast. I think this is going to be important that Fear sits on that constantly moves the waves in. Sumail spams his spells to push the waves in as well, and then they can find natural pickoffs with Spirit Breaker through that. Because it's the biggest problem has kind of been halted a bit for EG, where the Bloodseekers don't have
Sumail finds two with the Ice Pattern and Macro Pyre down. Crit is also in the middle of this. They are going to keep down that Jakiro. It's just going to be forced away. The dust coming a little bit later. Sylar shows up there. Nether Strike onto AO, the Witch Doctor. Under control, but can they run these heroes down? And going to be able to chase down the Clinks, and that should be a kill onto him. They blow up Arteezy.
EG has to slow the pace down still. That's the one thing. They can't really fight into the Bloodseeker, as I was mentioning. They have to just be able to push the lanes out and try to find opportunities with them. But if they take a heads-up fight, Thunder is still at a big advantage whenever they pop that nighttime.
Well played there as well. And it was kind of a weird initiation too, because that was VG.J. ENG still decided that fight. They thought that they were in a little bit better position. So Blade Mail is there for Universe on the clockwork. Certainly solo kill potential, but it's again just about finding the right target.
You know, like we said, the Force Tap was picked up so early on the Pugna, so it does counteract a lot of what Universe can do without any assistance from his teammates. But yeah, Vision is going to be incredibly important in this game, as was mentioning, just so they can see when they can get those pickoffs, because that's what EG's lineup kind of breeds on still all the time. They need a long time for them to just be this team fight. They have Clock and Spirit Breaker and Clinks. Those three heroes don't really they're not really about team fight, they're about pickoffs.
Smoke up.
As EG heading towards the top lane, they're trying to find themselves Sylar, but he's actually up here by the creep wave now, and Alright, well that's a problem. Bloodseeker dropping very low and will not be able to survive that.
So I think, okay, so that was EG that threw a scan initially in that area. They didn't catch anybody, and then they claimed the position onto the high ground. Got it. So that was a clever little maneuver they had going there.
Radiant fortified their
story doesn't really change that much for VG.J. Just get the anti-mage farm, and he is getting towards that Mantis style.
It's a big kill from the Bloodseeker being dead. That alleviates a lot of pressure up from Jay, as we mentioned. The Bloodseeker is the big way that Thunder can fight into each lineup, even though they have such an advantage.
So then at this point, are you trying to move around the map and get some more objectives, or do you just try and find another pickoff on the Bloodseeker?
I don't think objectives is what they can do. It's just pickoffs. Push lanes out with Splinter Bash, push lanes out with Mac Pyre / Dual Breath with Veil, and then just when they see heroes isolated with their good wards and vision that they should be getting from Rocket Player as well, that's where they can try to pick off. Spirit Breaker, Clinks, pick off team.
Okay. Fade, in the meantime, he's going to be scouting things out. There's a ward placed down here. It might have been within vision of this other Obs ward, although you basically have no vision at darkness anyways. EG moving top.
They saw nice stuff in the mid lane, so they wanted to make an aggressive play onto Yang.
Okay, charge coming through. They've got a pop for north, but there's a force down there.
now.
Deep grab it down. The cap bouncing back and forth. But trying to bring down Yang. He does eventually fall, but now RTZ in a little bit of trouble. The macro pop down. Sylar's able to escape. Taking this fight into Bloodseeker. He's going to be a bit of an issue. So Fear is here and trying to turn it back around. Where it goes up. And off the Night Stalker. They got a pretty decent silence, but this fight going okay for EG as they take down 2 and only ended up losing their Clinks.
Sylar he tried to stand toe-to-toe with Arteezy, and he almost dies in that situation. And a lot of his mana got burned from the defusal, but the nice defensive 4-step from Yang puts it into like a harder way for EG to take the fight, but either way, with the sheer amount of heroes that they had there faster, they're taking a little bit of an advantage for EG. Any trades are pretty good for them here. Sylar goes close to Manta. That's when it's going to be really tough for them to bring him down.
Yeah. You know, just thinking about where he goes from there afterwards too. It's here's that little initiation, and like you're talking about, Sylar fighting off more than he can chew. What was that? Just 3 shots basically?
Yeah,
2
3
shots.
hits. Fade comes in though, and they have so much magic damage to get the Clink settled down. And it was, you know, it was at a tower.
Right.
But then Universe shows up, great positioning, and during all this witch that wasn't really there, he got zoned out of the fight because he had to like take a weird maneuver. He had to walk all the way around so he didn't walk through the macro pyre. So next itemization, Crit gonna be going for the Shadow Blade. We said pickoffs, that's all he's gonna be really doing, looking for that anti-mage, looking for when anybody splits up, and Arteezy, so he can actually be in these fights because he dies super fast to all the magic damage that Thunder has. He's gonna be itemizing for a BKB next.
Against the Pugna, Night Stalker, even the Witch Doctor stuff is a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, I mean he can defusal off the decrep if it's on the allies, but if he just gets decrepped, then it's like uh-oh. He just takes incredibly high magic damage and can't attack either.
I guess the other thing you need to be a little bit worried about at this point for EG is if you lose another decent-sized fight, Thunder could think about going in for Roshan. They've got the medallion on the Witch Doctor now, and you ensure an Aegis for the AM. He's going to be able to come up till he's really unkillable.
Yeah, but, I mean, sides kind of have that going, right? They have the medallion with Clinks, and they have Blood Rage plus medallion on the side of each. But yeah, EG is still definitely at a pretty big disadvantage in this game. But they're slowing down the pace of the game a little bit. Get finding decent pickups. And now, into the rush they go. EG does not know this is going on. They have no wards and no vision. But the Rocky comes out. Universe has no idea. And scouted. He's trying to keep you to go for
Sylar Aegis is a DD on the Clink, so he's able to finish off this tower in short order. It's Sumail that gets the last hit there. And
now it's Sylar with an Aegis. So they wanted to be able to set up for the anti-mage, get some pickups on him, but he's 2-0-2, hasn't died yet, and with Manta, with Aegis, it's a very hard way to EG to bring him down.
So do you try and go for the Bloodseeker now before he gets the BKB, or do you just not try and fight at all?
Still, it's kind of the same story. It's unfortunate for EG, but that's because of how poorly the lanes went for them. They have to just play for pickoffs. Can't really take just head-on 5v5 fight. You just play at a numbers advantage.
King here drops down his ward.
In order for EG to really take fights, it's going to be like when the Aegis is gone and when Arteezy has BKB finished. Those are the 2 big factors that they need.
Okay.
And it's still going to be tough. For sure. And G. Top lane. The ward is placed though by Yang, and Sumail gets hit by it when he casts a spell. So they are going to build it back off and not have any casualties at the moment.
Yeah, I was wondering about that ward placed. I guess they're just hoping that somebody was going to walk forward and they'd be able to catch him out of position, but nonetheless.
EG playing under all of Thunder's vision though. That one ward is literally seeing all 4 heroes at the moment. They're going to walk up and... Well, it doesn't look like the smoke. Doesn't seem like that. Oh, they did actually on Crit, but yeah, they're not looking to smoke still. Arteezy's probably like, I need BKB.
Yeah.
Basher now.
He's not wrong.
On Sylar.
Yeah, Sylar just continuing to be a menace, and the style done, going to be going into the Vanguard next, I guess, to finish off the Abyssal Blade. Can blow up just about anybody when he comes completes that one, and honestly, probably right now as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, VG.J, do you feel like they need to do anything to secure their lead, or keep up more of the same? Do they need to try and find pickoffs themselves?
They can fight with their Aegis if they want to.
Yeah.
I think that they're fine going into the later stages of the game. I mean, they've got the Anti-Mage Bloodseeker matchup, Anti-Mage and Bloodseeker into later stages versus minimal catch on the side of EG. So I don't think that they're in a rush of the game, but pressing your advantage is fine with Aegis. And Arteezy, he breaks the smoke, but no one in range to catch him.
Top Darkness, they're also bringing in Fear to this bottom lane. VG.J still under the cover of a smoke. Maybe walking forward, drop that one. The heat vision only breaks into it. Ice Path somehow still a little bit of a clip there.
Dire structures are fortified.
Claiming some outer tier 2s.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, are they really trying to take this for crits there? They can see him. He's in the trail. Now the Countess is going to start to bounce all over the place. He needs it back on there, but it's not nearly enough. And now they've got him caught. He's going to end up going down. They drop the Winter's Claws. That's going to be the Night Stalker dead, but it might come at a big old cost. There's a big jump forward from Sylar. Killing spree for him. The Silence down as well. Going to clip onto one. Deer is dead. And now Clockwork going to die as well. Everything going wrong for EG in this game number 2.
As I said, they can't take fights. Head-on fights are impossible versus Thunder when you have this much of an advantage. Without BKB and Clinks, he gets ruptured, Cask starts bouncing, and he's just dead to Pugna as well. They can start threatening a bit of high ground after Pugna here. It's looking very problematic. It's not really having too many ways to get back in it. We've said this time and time again. If you lose all 3 lanes, the game's going to be pretty tough. They kind of lost 2.5 lanes. They don't have the team fight lineups. It's not like they can come back through team fights, which is one of the things we used to always say too. It's like, if you're at such a deficit, you can kind of take these big fights, and if you do win one big fight, you can start coming back. But they can't fight head on at all. They have to keep it.
Now, Crit going in for this one, and they're also bringing in Sumail. Yang
There we
go down. All right.
One little pick off in the back lines from Crit. You can't take 2 TPs.
Yeah, maybe they can find themselves another one here. It's a 12,000 net worth lead, but EG striking forward, wanting to find themselves a kill. This comes out. There's going to be a silence out as well, though, and Arteezy, is he going to get caught out? Now they're trying to go for the ulti coming out from Sylar, able to dodge away from the ice path. Now he's got Ive Tier onto the Wyvern. He's not going to get away from that one, looks like.
He's got Aegis, he's an AM, he's the minimal amounts of lockdown on EG, as we've mentioned. Yeah, it's really tough for them to kill Sylar. At least they got 2 pick off.
Yeah. And the Aegis was going to expire in about 15 seconds from that point as well.
So they pressed their advantage quite nicely. Getting the melee racks, getting multiple kills as well. EG's just struggling. A team that loves the team fight and just unable to team fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's 7,000 net worth ahead of the next highest on the enemy team for the Anti-Mage, and it's just an Anti-Mage game. He got what he needed.
He got all the space in the world. They had a nice Stalker Pugna pressuring the off lane. Bloodseeker dominated the mid lane. I mean, how often do you see Sumail 0 and 8?
Yeah.
It really just doesn't happen. He was really struggling in this one.
So are we going with the hashtag Paul was right, Jakiro mid?
It didn't go the way they wanted it to. Just everything in their entire plan that EG had for the laning phase just didn't happen.
Yeah.
I will never say Paul was right. He's pretty much right.
Inverse scored 21-12. With EG up here in the top lane, and unfortunately Fade is there as well with Ninjas, and they're scouting it all out. They can take the fight that they want, force it up to the high ground, but it's still going to be Clockwork caught and most likely killed. The Witch Doctor ulti coming out as well. They've got Void and Universe going to fall.
Makes it it's much easier game for VG to play because of the advantage they have. They've Gem now on Sylar as well, on top of the Abyssal Blade, so he's going to be hunting for Artur at all times. And the little vision that EG does have, the defensive vision that is starting to get dewarded. They did some aggressive work, but those aggressive works aren't going to do anything at the moment.
Top lane's going to be pushed out here as well by Yang. They can go for a slow siege if they want. They've also got a ward down right there next to Sumail on the Jakiro.
This next fight is probably EG's final one.
Oh, Fear. He wants to run away. Turn this this one. Now, can they get away with this? No, the silence is already there. Sylar pops the Manta, jumps away. They forced out the BKB for RTZ, and that might be enough to stop them from going any further forward. But now with BKB down, there's not a whole lot to stop them.
So at least they're, they use the BKB. They don't lose anybody, but fully defensive BKB, they get no kills out of it.
Universe dreams of a Aghanim Scepter. They do see the Bloodseeker. There's the Fusion Blade as well. Okay. BKB pop though, and he runs away. Great hook shot coming in from Universe. But you got Night Stalker over on the other side. The card's coming through. The silence is going to connect onto 3 or 4. Sylar jumps forward as well. He blows up RTZ. He's going to go down. And now the coconuts are bouncing back and forth. They get the full embrace, but to no avail. It's going to be Sumail as well fall lane. They've caught themselves crit, and everybody from EG down. Good game call.
Yeah, the next fight had to be like the last thing. Just they can't really fight. The anti-mage, they can barely kill. They have to commit so much to kind of kill one hero. And so this is like the story of this tournament so far. It's like blue lanes, blue game.
So is Bloodseeker the answer then? It's on the winning team both times?
It's a pretty dominant laning phase hero, especially when you have like this, when you have pressuring lanes, like this Night Stalker Pugna. He's able to just get thirst stacks so heavily, and yeah, it's seeming pretty damn good, at least in this series especially.
Yeah, I think that it's sort of also paired together with the anti-mage in that game. It made so much space, like you were talking about at various points in the draft. And
yeah,
I don't know. I guess thinking forward to game number 2, do you go with a little bit more orthodox draft